to expand on something real fast for you this morning, and it being something quite simple, but then it can, I don't know, people can make it complicated. Simply put, there's some people out there who equate God with creation. It's a weird pantheism, really, where they equate like treating the environment, treating Mother Earth, and that type of thing. That's actually pantheism. So if you're a person using that language, Mother Earth and that kind of stuff, what you're doing is you're embracing the pantheistic idea, and that's, I don't know, like a rock is God. Like, seriously, really, like a rock is God. But anyway, and then there's other people who have put like animals or the like above humanity. And again, this is a weird form of pantheism where you have to take care of animals over the essence, presence, and importance of the human soul, the human spirit, and the human person. That's why you have people like that can look at abortion, or who can look at the climate and call humans and the like we're a virus, and we need to be numbered only to a certain amount. Only certain people should be able to live. Only a certain number of people should be able to live. Only a certain group of people should have power over others. So there's a weird idea there, and when you see it, just understand what you're looking at. You're looking at people desiring God, but completely misplacing it. Completely misplacing who God is and the importance of creation. And you can go to Genesis chapter 1 and see, just 1 and 2, and see where creation, where the earth and all that was formed around it come from. And people try to say it's a myth. No, it's actually freaking real. Okay, so, and then you see Genesis chapter 6, where humanity became so bad it had to be wiped out. Okay, and actually, I think it's 2 Peter talks about that, how judgment came through water in the first time in Genesis, but then judgment's coming through fire the second time, which is obviously hell. And that's what it's going to look like. And then you go to like Romans chapter 8, I think it's Romans 8, where you see the creation is groaning for God, groaning for righteousness, groaning for the Lord to make things right. And in people's hearts, they actually have that same desire, which is, that's something that's God-given, but people really misplace where it's from and what it's supposed to be used for. And because they do that, they completely mismanage what they've been given and take the created over the creator, take their own personal beliefs about the world, about the things around and in this world, and really make it into something that it's not supposed to be. So let's say for instance, I'll give a really specific and tangible example. Let's take capitalism and make capitalism the God. Okay, now I'm a capitalist. I believe in capitalism, but that's not where I put my faith in. I put my faith in the Lord, because I know that there's people out there who will do all they can to not only remove capitalism, they'll try to impose communism, and they'll try to impose socialism or Marxism or communism or atheism, whatever. They'll try to impose these ideals that are not only religious, because capitalism could actually be religion as well too. People can practice it religiously. But you lose sight of where this stuff all goes to, where it all comes from. And when this happens, we take away, we leave open the truth about our soul and the eternal nature of our soul, and where that, we obviously are finite, so we have a beginning, but that the soul essence of us will last into eternity. So to ignore that and to only place all of your faith into the created by doing good things for for what has been created, the earth, the planet, and all that stuff. It's like, and animals and all that stuff. You ignore that your hope is in, I've done good enough for this thing here as an environmentalist, as a humanist. But you've missed the point that you're not only worshiping the created, you've ignored the creator and the establishment of what the creator has made to be true. That your time here is finite, in trying to, stop an Armageddon that's environmental Armageddon and an animal Armageddon and a nuclear Armageddon. It's like people really think that they have control over this stuff, and they don't. I mean, to think of the level of narcissism that you have to have, and of selfishness and a self-aggrandizement, where you really believe that you as a species, created species, can control the weather, can control, obviously you want to be good stewards of it. This was like the next point. You obviously want to be good stewards of it. You don't want to, be out there destroying all kinds of crap just because you can, or putting toxins into the oceans and stuff like that. But you don't take the ocean as God. You don't take the sky as God. You don't take pollution as being the Antichrist. You don't take that stuff the way it is. You don't take animals and sea life as being God, and you're doing good for these things as your form of worship to God, because that's not worshiping God. That's actually worshiping your ideal of what you believe God to be. So really, it's a God of your own making. So when I see this stuff, and I'm thinking through how people can take "for God so loved the world," into a whole different context that's completely antithetical to what the Bible says. Because people who are environmentalists, or people who might have these type of ideas in their head about taking care of the environment and being good to Mother Earth and stuff like that, well, they can actually take those words for what they're not supposed to be. For God so loved the world, so everything in the world is important, but you miss the "for God." So when that happens, you're not worshiping the Lord by doing your due diligence and being good to things around you that are created. What you're doing is you're placing things that are created above God, and you're making yourself the God by controlling those things above in the earth. So when I see this stuff, it makes me just wonder, like, do you not see that no matter how much you and one place on this earth, one section of this earth might do good in doing things for the environment, there are other people out there that don't. And the only way that you can actually get things to where you want them to be is by controlling other people. So it's not really about the environment, it's about control. It's about your say being above everybody else's say, and what you want being above what everybody else wants. That's unhealthy. So when I look at it right now and I see what's happening, I look at the people who, this Green New Deal stuff around the world. I look at it and I go, man, these folks have really got a twisted idea about how important the world actually is, when the world actually is your soul. Your soul is the most important thing, not the world. The world's a part of it. It's almost ancillary, and you live in it. But you're to believe that the world and concrete and rocks and the sky and the sea and land and trees these things are all God. That's a very weird twist on reality, and it's not reality. It's not real. But you have a choice in that. You have a choice to look at it and wonder if you're really a biologist or a scientist or an ecologist or whatever, and you're not willing to look at how this stuff was actually created, that you can't come up with from chaos into something that goes to order. You can't do that. It's not even scientific. And to tell me that you're science-based, you're not being real and not being true to yourself, and not being true to what is scientific. What is a scientific method? You can't even say that what you're saying is a true and honest reality. What you can say, though, is that your belief in this stuff, your belief in these things, trumps reality. Okay, so that's actually what you can say, but it doesn't, because reality shows itself out to be very different from what you believe. So why am I saying this to you this morning? I'm saying this because there are people out there who have put so many different things above the Lord, and have turned things that are not God into gods, and are making themselves into a little small God. And when that happens, you've got no point of return, because you also didn't invent hell and you didn't invent heaven. In the afterlife, you're going to experience the afterlife. And when that happens, you have it's the craziest thing to think that you have control over the afterlife when you have no control over the life. It's like where do you even do this? Like, how is this even mathematically correct? How do you even come up with this stuff? You can't control whether somebody's going to hit you with a dang bus, or you're going to hit into a car accident, or something bad's going to happen to you and you die. But you think that you can create heaven and hell and all that stuff for other people and for yourself. It's like this stuff is all created. So I'm saying this to you because I want you to understand there's more to this earth and there's more to this reality than what you're acknowledging. And if you're not willing to acknowledge it for what it is, you're going to have a rude awakening, and if that awakening is going to be fully for eternity. And you don't want that, and I don't want that for you. So I pray that people actually would see what the actual gospel is, that it's the person and work of Christ Jesus. It's not about the works that you do for the earth or for for the water or for the sky and for the land. It's what you believe about Jesus. That's all it is. And so if you have a correct doctrine and understanding of theology about who Christ is, and you put your heart into that, you put your soul and your faith in that, then believe me, you're going to do stuff that's going to be good for things around you. Of course you are, but you understand that it's all going to pass away. And all you people who are non-Christian, if you've never read Revelation, you understand that everything's going to be made new by God, not by you. Everything's going to be made new. Like the earth's going to be talking, dude. There's stuff here that's going to be really cool. God says he can make the rocks talk. I mean, seriously? Can you make a rock talk, dude? You can't even make your own dirt. Let alone like your own sky. Let alone your own heaven or earth or hell. You can't do that. So when you see this, and I'm talking right now, understand there's a bigger story going on here, and you get twisted and turned by all these other things that are not God. Believe me, when the time comes, you're going to find out who God is. And he's not going to be proud of what you've done here. He's not going to be proud of your attitude toward him and what he created, because you would have put the created over God himself.